Teacher's attempt at correcting my son's spelling. It's actually skikors. Man thinks he's smart, saying it's 10 cents. Oh god, a post within a post. Here we go. Let's just start from the original. I love when people think something was so easy, but are utterly wrong. The question? A hammer and a nail cost $1.10, and the hammer costs $1 more than the nail. How much does the nail cost?
So easy for me. Yes, it's 10 cents.
The implication being that that is wrong, but someone disagrees so much they make their own separate confidently incorrect post, titling it,
Man thinks he's smart saying it's 5 cents.
So apparently that's incorrect. Yeah, isn't it $1.05 for the hammer, so the nail costs 5 cents? Since the total between them is $1.10, as in adding their costs together. So 5 cents plus $1.05 equals $1.10. How dare they make us do maths on a meme channel? This is like r/math memes all over again. I can't do it. No, I won't go back!
No, well, the hammer plus nail is $1.10, so if the nail is $1 less than the hammer, it would be 10 cents.
I look forward to this being argued in the comments below. This is the face of a person who has nothing to regret about its life.
Alright, firstly, it's it, and secondly, it's not it, it's her. Thirdly, that's not how commas work.
Lemafau. Firstly, that is an apostrophe, not a comma. Secondly, the apostrophe shows ownership. So yes, it is its.
Are you saying that woman is owned?
No, I'm saying...
Sexist! Your argument is officially invalid. I win!
To all you hunters who kill animals for food, shame on you!
Joke's on you, I'm into that.
You ought to go to the store and buy the meat that was made there, where no animals were harmed? I mean, most hunters these days have to get permits and are only killing creatures that are overpopulated and therefore actually helping the ecosystem, but go off. Glues are for kindergarten. Adhesives are for grown-ups. You will notice no one sells hot melt adhesives. Hot melt, not for grown-ups. You ever seen a DeWalt Ryobi Makita battery pack done with glue? No, they use spacers. Photo. What was that? Wow, what are those 3 words there? I wonder what they say. Cow milk was literally made for humans. Cow milk was literally made for baby cows. Now, to be fair, I'm sure they mean in the way it's filtered and processed for human consumption. That said, they're still technically wrong and therefore we're still allowed to laugh at them. Commence laughter. Mold is mold.
I like cheese, lol.
You can eat all this before it goes bad?
Cheese doesn't go bad, that's the whole point.
Oh no. This is major.
What do you mean FDA approved? I don't sell medical products.
Edit. Why are you booing? I'm right. It's literally just milk that's already gone bad. Buddy, soft cheese does go bad, and quite fast too. Technically, any mold that grows is just bonus blue cheese. That's how I've always used it, on salads and such. Do you like to cook your chicken rare as well? Sneak peek inside the mind of moon landing deniers. Never would have guessed they didn't understand rocket science.
How the hell would a drone fly around the moon with no atmosphere?
Duh! How the hell would a rocket even fly through space if space is a vacuum? Rocket thrust would have nothing to push off in a vacuum. Dude, go back to your hometown. Find your middle school science teacher. Apologize to him. Tried going to Aldi's this morning at 8 a.m. Wasn't open. Wow, what a store. Maybe try back at 9 a.m. like the sign on the door says. Well, most places are open by 8. Not places that say 9 a.m. on the door though, right? Oh, I love a calm clapback.
Elon always posts the realest things. You're just mad you're not as successful as him.
This is the most embarrassing reply to this post yet by far.
You're the most embarrassing person in this thread.
You're.
That,
what? I swear, some people are so stupid. I was on the train and 2 nerds thought the sun was a star. It actually makes me sad. God, where's the Carl Sagan of our generation? Hank Green, we need you! Guy has never heard of fire.
How do you make a cup of tea without electricity? I'm not sure you've thought this through.
And neither have you. My dad fell for a Nigerian prince by mail scheme and then fell for another one the following week because he reasoned they couldn't both be fake. No. Oh, that innocent thing. Hippos have no muscles. It's impossible to lose weight when you're a rage donkey made of pure muscle. Hippos hardly have any fat. Wrong! Plants have no protein! Hippos can't have muscles! Quick question. What does it feel like to be completely ignorant of how something works and still deciding to comment on such things with unshakable confidence?
You're wrong because I'm not an American!
Today I learned in 1942, German submarines sunk a British passenger ship. They surfaced to collect survivors, announced their presence to the Allies, and sailed under a Red Cross flag. The U-boats were attacked by Allied planes, forcing the submarine to throw all the survivors back into the sea and crash dive. I'm sure that cruise ship got the worst reviews. It sank, not sunk. Except I'm not American, don't use American English, and in fact, used it the correct way. Sank in the simple past tense of sink, while sunk is the past participle.
The hell is that?
Thus, it should be German submarine sank. It's an irregular verb, and I would never hold that against a non-native speaker. The person you reply to is correct, though. Fall is a verb. To fall, fell, have fallen, will fall, he, she, it falls. That's fall and nothing else. I had English in school and I have never heard of such a stupid wrong use of words. Fall is a verb and nothing else. Don't pretend like you know English just because you've taken a class or two, especially if you're not a native English speaker. Do yourself a favor and look it up. Maybe you should. Every single result, even the nouns, refer to the verb fall. Maybe you should learn English. Well, everyone here is an idiot. It's obviously a season. Da Vinci's works are called masterpieces, and they are for their time, but not by today's standards. How D-bags like Banksy spray templates and it's called great? In the same way, this film is criticized by idiot millennials brought up on modern CGI. I was a kid when this came out, and it outshone everything at the time. Films like The Matrix and Fight Club all borrowed from this movie. It pushed boundaries and gave inspiration to today's filmmakers. Criticize away, but first show me your name on the credits of something better! For reference, they're talking about The Crow. Yeah, if you were a kid when The Crow was released, you're most likely also a millennial. A millennial was born after 2000. Seeing as it was released in 94, that's not really possible, Einstein! Well, if that's true, guess I better start complaining about kids doing things that doesn't ultimately affect me. 100% live somewhere in England. Only country I've seen that has teens put on that much makeup. Scotland as well. It's insane. Scotland is in England, idiot. Say that again, but slowly. Damn, one paper cut and you'll bleed to death. Veins pump blood away from the heart, not to it. You're thinking about an artery. I think you ought to remove this comment. Only about 50% of our DNA comes from our parents. Yeah, I know genes play a role. What I meant was inherited characteristic versus Some characteristics are inherited, such as hair color, skin color. Some are due to brand new DNA you obtain from the mix of your parents. Brand new? Okay. Your DNA, for example, is 50% from your parents and 50% unique due to the mashup and nature of how we are created. Okay, and how are you created? From your parents. Oh, wow. Your character, for example, the latter sometimes. 100% of your DNA is from your parents. No, it isn't, darling. 50% is. The other 50% is brand new DNA created by the merging of your parents' DNA. It's called a sexual dimorphic species. Here's an easy to read explanation for someone who clearly has no basic knowledge of human biology. Sometimes I do want to click these links just to see where they're coming to this conclusion, because I guarantee they've just read that wrong. I can't get past the fact there was no hand washing after touching that chicken. You mean passed? Move or cause to move in a specific direction. He passed through towns and villages. That was just a Google search of what past means for you. Well, I've been using that word completely wrong this entire time. 9 billion people on Earth. Huh. 83 billion, but sure. Actually, more like 9.3 billion, just the truth. There's 8 billion people on Earth. Please explain?
No, there isn't. More like 9 at this point.
There is an edge just near the Bermuda Triangle. If it is round, tell me, where did MH370 go?
Are you not familiar with the secret ice wall in Antarctica?
I think this guy is a little goofy. A plane disappearing near Indonesia means it probably crashed into the sea, which is not evidence that almost the entirety of modern technology and science is an elaborately concealed lie that has been kept under wraps for thousands of years despite involving a good portion of the world population.
Your everyday experience tells you the Earth is flat. This is 100% proof evidence against evolution. Are flowers smart enough to know what monkeys look like? Therefore they evolved to look this way? Nonsense! Only a designed creation process can explain this. A designed creation declares both a designer and a creator. The song a baffled king composed.
Nah, don't waste the eggs like that. Let the chicks live. The eggs aren't fertilized. There wouldn't be any chicks in them in the first place.
Thank you for pointing out what I already knew.
Really? But you said...
You misunderstood me. I meant to save the eggs, see them hatch into chicks rather than preserving them.
Yeah, that's the problem. Those eggs can't hatch ever. They aren't fertilized, and they can't be fertilized after they are laid. There aren't any chicks in there. From a post mocking someone for calling a frog an animal with 3 letters on Family Feud. And fly isn't an animal. Fly is an animal. What the actual frick? Insects are animals. They are in the kingdom Animalia. They're animals. You're thinking of mammals, maybe? Or not thinking at all.
The common housefly is not an animal, it is an insect. Have a nice day.
Dude. Yes, it is. It boggles my mind that you can have this big of an ego over something you can simply Google and verify. A fly. All insects are in the kingdom Animalia. They are animals. Insects are under that kingdom. It goes Animalia to class Insecta. You can say it's not and wish me a nice day all you want. You're still wrong. Price is not dependent on demand. God, I wish. If I sold apples, I could always slowly raise the price of my apples, despite whatever the demand may be for my apples. Thus, in theory, my apple would be more expensive, thus more valuable, since I raised the price. A $10 apple is going to be seen as more valuable than a 10-cent apple. Why is crypto like the weather, where there's summers and winters? Why can't we program a token to always be summer or always increase in price? My thesis is simple. Price and value is not dependent on demand. So why should a token's price be? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Because if you have the price too high, it's going to be considered overvalued and people aren't going to have a demand for it, and therefore you're not going to make as much money, are you, you dumb, stupid...
Value can be whatever I want.
Oh, you have the reality stone. Well, never mind, okay. Who? Pocahontas? She is not real, lol. You're joking, right? Well, technically they're right. You know, Pocahontas is dead, therefore not currently real. Red nose figure skating. They look Russian, probably all from 1 or 2 gyms. The treatment of putting skater against skaters at the main one is brutal. They don't skate past 17 often. What the flip? They could be from anywhere. I watch figure skating religiously. I pretty much know. But thanks for trying. If you watch religiously, how do you not for sure know? Well, one of them is American, so apparently you don't. Yeah, what part of Russia is Maria Bell from? Guys, give him a chance to breathe, come on. Redditor makes up fake Canadian employment laws. Ooh, fun. Again, according to the law, you here cannot provide negative reference. Canada. One's view of proficiency will vary from another. I'm not saying they're not given, and I'm not saying that the majority giving references don't break the law, but that's how it is. It's called slander, my friend. It is not illegal to provide a bad reference. Stop spreading misinformation. It is illegal to give a false reference, and many companies like Walmart have a standard policy of not giving any reference so they can never possibly even be accused of false reference. Y'all walk a fine line. Keep walking it. No, the frick does that mean? You're out here spreading bull smack. I'm correcting it. What fine line is that? Being able to type basic questions into Google? Just a reminder that a volcano in Greece has put more CO2 in the atmosphere in 24 hours than humans have in our entire existence. Not even slightly true. Actually, it is. Did the math myself. Double checked. Thanks, though. Today's been equally helpful for everyone to make sure that you and people like you are not on their lists. In case you are confused by how confident they are, yes, they are completely wrong. I can't find what volcano they're referring to anyway, but it's more accurate to say the opposite of things. So yeah, suck it, Mother Nature. We kill you better than you can kill yourself. Website that uses images from r/ConfidentlyIncorrect adds a comment that is incorrect, confidently telling everyone to do their research. Totally horrific. Forests which we need for oxygen and so much wildlife is being completely exterminated. Tragic beyond belief.
You should check where our oxygen comes from. It certainly doesn't come from trees. Many are the misunderstandings when it comes to the source of the world's oxygen.
That's actually correct. See, not only do trees produce oxygen, but they also absorb oxygen, which makes them a carbon sink. In any case, we always say, please do more research before posting comments like this. God, how do you misdefine things? Yes, misdefine's a word now, I've decided. A carbon sink is a forest that produces and expels carbon, not oxygen, you deformed testicle. And it only expels that carbon when it's burnt down, cleared away, or dies. Barbarity and sadism aren't the same, son. They're synonymous. Nope. Google is your friend. Not your friend, though, I guess. The only non-British actors to play Bond have been George Lazenby and Pierce Brosnan. The only English actors to play him were Roger Moore and Daniel Craig. Sorry, no. Sean Connery was Scottish, not British. Scotland is in Britain. Are you confusing British with English? Scotland is its own country in the UK. Britain is a different country in the UK. All part of the OC, but not the same. Scotland is not in Britain. They are their own separate countries. You are the one who is confused. Which part of the UK are referring to Britain? Kiss, kiss. Good thing I'm not talking about belief. I'm talking about how people's understanding of evolution is wrong, whether they believe it or not.
All theories are beliefs. Evolution is just a theory. And again, it's not compatible with reality.
Seeing as how all the evidence supports evolution, it obviously is compatible with reality.
It's a good story, but I've heard better stories that explain evolution.
Ooh, you are reading a word and defining it completely differently.
Please never say her and I around me or I will slap you. It's she and I. #Grammar.
Yeah, you correct them, hypocrite. And he was correcting somebody else.
That's not what a metaphor is. If I were to say this post is like eating a bowl of nails, that's a metaphor.
That's a simile. This is some grade school Schmidt, lol. Yeah, which one do you think's the confidently incorrect one here? Go on, you figure it out in the comments. I had to Google this to find out myself, but yeah, I know now. And I'm not going to tell you. If you're confident, then go on, say so in the comments. Risk the irony of looking confidently incorrect under this video.
Smoking is bad.
I mean, yeah, on one hand, you should have the freedom to do what you want, but on the other, chain smoking with a first grader in the backseat probably isn't a good thing.
I never said it was good. I said there's no proof it's bad. And even if there were proof, it would be irrelevant due to it being none of our freaking business.
It's just the mental gymnastics to comprehend what they're saying.
Fun fact, you watch too many movies. A cigarette ember can never ignite gasoline. It's not hot enough.
That's not true. It's not even the gasoline that is flammable. It's the fumes, you dummy.
No, you can ignite the gasoline, just not with a cigarette, lol, dummy.
Imagine calling other people dummies when you're this wrong.
It's not baking soda. Hello, Gordon. And it's not harmless. It's sodium bicarbonate. Other extinguishers have other materials, but none of which are baking soda.
When I wake up in the morning and forget to take my schizophrenia medication.
Who are all these people? Not how schizophrenia works. That would be DID.
Wow, not only do you sound like the most obnoxious person I could ever meet, but you're also wrong. Northern kilometers are longer than southern kilometers because speed limits?
Unless you have been in the north and you have done a similar walk, you wouldn't notice that the kilometers in the south are longer than in the north. 1.6 times longer or same as miles in the north.
Oh my, you were being serious, weren't you? The speed limit in Germany is 160 kilometers an hour. The speed limit in Australia is 100 kilometers an hour. And the distances in Germany are much shorter. Interesting. Yo, wait, you guys go 160 an hour? You can go that fast?
Why do you get to? We're in a bigger country. It takes 6 days to drive to the other end of our country. Like, man, I can get that done in 3.
They do know that a cat doesn't have a bone in its tail, right? It absolutely does, lol. Confidently incorrect, lol. They're not, though. Well, then now I feel bad for squeezing my cat's tail as a child. I'm still baffled. Is it not common knowledge that salt dissolves in water? Well, it's an artificial saltwater reservoir, and people call it a pool, so I don't make the rules. If it's artificial, how is it saltwater? Well, see, first you get some water, then you get some salt, and the rest is clearly a mystery.
Okay, now that salt's in a layer at the bottom, lol.
Salt dissolves in water.
Not naturally.
I'm so confused right now. Yes, it does. If you put salt in water, it will dissolve. Salt is soluble in water. You don't need to stir it or boil it. If you don't put more than needed to reach the solubility limit, all of the salt will dissolve, and there won't be any on the bottom. No salty bottom for this pool. New, 3 in 5 patients support striking health workers, our poll has revealed. That's awfully close to less than 50%. Take a hint. That's 60%? That's 10% more than 50%. Awfully close. 3 in 5 is very close to 2 in 5, which would be 40%. My point being, I bet they rounded it up. Well, by that logic, they say there's a 100% chance I'll die if I fall from 50 meters off a building, but there's technically a 0 in that number, and that's close to 0%, so I'll be fine. She's not a teenager, and they should get in an actual fight. I'd like that, not some dumb generic tweets. Would you agree? This is about sunken chin bald man and Greta, by the way. This person genuinely believes the best way to prove one's ideology is best is by punching each other. Read that back and change your user and @. Ooh, nice clapback, screenshotting their age and oh, look at that. Oh no, turns out this person's actually the better one here. 19 is an adult? Now answer my question. Now to be fair, some places don't consider the 19 to be an adult until 21 and such, so I mean, I can see how this can be misconstrued. Man with limited knowledge of thermodynamics confidently explains thermodynamics. Temperature for decarb is around 240 degrees Fahrenheit, and with water boiling at 212 Fahrenheit, you'd have to keep it boiling for a long time to get any substantial THC. Yes, the boiling point of water is at 212 Fahrenheit. That doesn't mean that once the water hits its boiling point of 212, then the temperature stops going up. You can continue to raise the temperature of water well past its boiling point. Your science isn't sciencing. Yeah, what he said, whatever it was. The dollar is measured in imperial. Are you sure about that? Imperial is superior, coming from a Canadian mechanic. Damn, my opinion will mean nothing. Imperial is way better. That's why most countries use the dollar. Each measurement's got their place, I guess. I really don't think the dollar has much to do with measuring tolerances. The dollar is measured in imperial. Like to the euro, it's worth $1.90. Imperial uses large numbers, hence why every country uses it. The Vatican is not associated to Christianity. It is an ancient Babylonian pagan cult based on the worship of the sun and pagan gods. Billions are unknowingly worshipping Lucifer. Oh, I wish that was the case. That would be so funny and ironic. Our buddies are excellent. For surviving somewhere in sub-Saharan Africa on roots and greens and occasional meat, not for that. Well, evolution is just a theory. Said by someone who has no idea what a scientific theory actually is. It's still just a theory, Lamal. A theory isn't a fact, doofus. Again, someone reading a word and interpreting it completely however they want. Yes, worth it, lol, when they're left with a crappy bum. Just have a carry-on toilet paper. By the way, that's there. Please do not use the English language if you can't not do it properly. Oh, mate, come on, that's gotta be satire. If you can't not do it properly, my man. I see what little game you're playing. Are bees an animal? No. It's a silly debate, to be honest. I think you should be able to say vegan with or without honey. Do you also think humans aren't animals, lol? What? Of course we are animals. Too damn many of us in the world, too. Like 36% of all mammal mass, 96% if you count our livestock, but don't quote that. But that's for another argument. To me, bees are just an insect. You can find that on Google. You can also find that they are an animal as everything is in the animal kingdom if it isn't plant or fungi or whatever. So it's a debate for sure. So they agree but don't. It's not a debate. Insect is an animal, just like mammals are animals. What's with all the insect hate, huh? They deserve to be considered animals like anything else. I want my cockroaches to be considered as equal as me when I crush them and kill their families mercilessly. On an advertisement for toothpaste. Calcium carbonate is limestone, aka cement. Way to clog your arteries. I wish it was, and just for you. Climate change denier thinks that a Twitter thread counts as peer review. Oh no! Peer-reviewed paper is what is being created in this thread. We have the evidence. How do we get it published? How do we get it reported? How we get the meteorologists to speak? How do we accomplish the obvious? Look up? You sure about that? Holy duck, what part of America do you live in? West Coast US, not California. California is part of the West Coast. No, it's not. I deleted it.